Hi everybody, I'm Mahin, and this is the Sunday in the Studio edition of the Bellydance Quickies. Today we're going to talk about jewels, not the kind we wear, but the kind we do. So let me give you an update first on the DVD. We are on pretty good track for a completion around the end of February, beginning of March, so hopefully I'll be getting those Kickstarter ones sent out near the beginning of March, and also the pre-orders as well. And if you happen to be in the Southwest US area, I'm going to be teaching in Tucson on February 21st, 2 workshops, and there's lots of other events going on as well. We're going to have a live music hafla in Phoenix with live Greek music from Cosmos on March 20th, and also Blood on the Veil with Carol Tandava heading from New York City. You may have caught her interview last week on the Friday Grab Bag edition. If you caught the interview with her, she is going to be here on April 8th doing her Blood on the Veil show, which we're very excited about. Okay, so let's talk about jewels. Jewels are one of those funny movements that some people think of one thing and some people think of something else, but they're kind of related. Now, just to kind of show you here, a lot of times when people say a jewel, they are describing something like this. Now, some people are just using the word to describe this part, this little accent. So what I did the first time was stepping a half circle across the front with a weight change, and then flip my hip from front to back on this leg here. And some people use the term jewel just to apply to this little flip, like that. So let's just look at what's going on, break this down thoroughly. Let's start this out just being 2 feet, and look at what's happening with our hip here. So when we take this little accent, we're going to twist one hip forward, and you can feel the work in your obliques here as you do that. And then you're going to pull it back, and then you feel also more work in your obliques because you've got 2 muscles here layered diagonally. So one works to bring it this way, and the other one works to bring it back. So if we do that on the other side, coming forward and coming back. So this is done in pretty sharp, and it's not usually done on 2 feet as it applies to this jewel that we're talking about. But this is what's the action that's going on in the hip. So now let's do this on one leg, and we're going to be doing this on our weighted side. So make sure you get a nice bend in that knee. That'll help you to get a little bit more twist. So here we're going to twist the hip forward and come back. Front back, front back, front back. Other side. Front back, front back, front back. You want to make sure your weight's really over this leg and not hovering somewhere around the center. This is going to give you a lot more stability here. You need to also keep your ribs lifted up and out of the way so this movement stays clean. And don't forget the bend in your knees because you'll need that too. Okay, so let's look at how this lands with that more composite movement that is referred to as a jewel sometimes. So we have that half circle across the front, weighted over here on the left. Here's our half circle. We land on this side, we twist, and we come back. Across the front of the circle, weight into this leg over here, twist, and come back. So when we do that with a little bit more quickness behind it, we have around here, around here. You can actually put a little bit of extra bend in the knee as you land this, if you like. So that's one thing. Now, that's on a half of a circle, but we can certainly do this exact same thing on a figure 8. Coming around, here, twist. 1, 2, 3, twist. 1, 2, 3, twist, like that. So in both of those examples, our twist is happening over the weighted leg, but we can also do this on the unweighted leg. And this isn't necessarily always called a jewel, but it's totally related to the mechanics of this movement. So let's take a look at it. So now let's look at the same twist, but let's look at it on our unweighted side. So we're going to twist this hip forward and come back, forward and come back. Now on the unweighted side, we can use our muscles a little bit differently to create this. As we take it forward, we can add our glutes into here. They're very powerful, and they help to send the hip forward and to open it, and that works very well for this. And then as we come back here, we've got those obliques, plus we've got the psoas in there, helping to pull this back very sharply. So back, 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 like that, back, and you can add a lot more sit in there if you want to. Here, here, like that. So on the other side, here, here. Now, the same things that we put that weighted one onto, we can also put the unweighted one onto. So if you go back and look at this half circle across the front here, we're kind of already twisted open a little bit because we're coming across this curve. So you can now just add a little bit of glue to take a little bit more for the front and then pull it in. Let's go to the other side. Around, finish the circle, add the glue, pull in. Around, finish the circle, push, pull. Around, pull, around, pull. These type of juicy muscular movements like this are very common for Bellydance style, so you oftentimes see it in things like that. Now let's look at this with a figure eight. This is a very common one to see with the unweighted version of this twist accent. So 1, 2, 3. Here's our unweighted leg, so we actually have to do more of a front twist here. We're not really halfway there yet. So here, twist forward, release. 1, 2, 3, open, close. So think about this joint, kind of opening and closing. 1, 2, 3, forward, pull back. 1, 2, 3, forward, pull back. Now, another thing we often see with this is releasing the whole foot from the floor, almost like we might do with a little drop kick, but it's not a drop kick. So here, and releasing the foot like that. And that's another accent that we see a lot of times. So that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, and release. 1, 2, 3, and release. 1, 2, 3, and release. So you notice that if you're going to connect one of these to another, 1, 2, 3, and release, I have to twist my hip forward again to continue to the other side. So you want to just make note of that to know how you get properly into the next one to keep it nice and continuous. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That little jewel step and some of these little release accents are some things that a lot of times that you look at them and it's very hard to figure out exactly how they're done unless someone breaks them down for you. So I hope this was helpful for you. I also want to thank my student Ileana who brought this to my attention. She had taken someone else's workshop and this movement was presented but it wasn't fully broken down, so she had some questions about it and asked me, so I thought this would be a really good topic because I know this is a question that comes up a lot. So I hope that was helpful for you, and if you have other things that you'd like to see broken down here, I'm always really happy to get suggestions. Go ahead and leave them in the box down below, or you can email me directly from my site, or catch me on Twitter or Facebook or any other place online you can find me. So you guys have a really wonderful week, and I'll see you next Sunday right back here in the studio.